everyone, welcome to Tote TV. I am Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
And we are the creative hands and minds behind Tote Hollow. Today is Tuesday, September 20th, and we are here to talk to you about our haul that we got from doing the Quilt Shop Hop in New Jersey.
Yeah.
We spent the weekend going from quilt shop to quilt shop, and we had a blast.
It was a really good weekend, yeah.
It was. We had such a good time.
I wrote down in my journal that I'm so glad we didn't let work take over.
That
and
is
we made
very good
ourselves
thing.
do it.
Yeah.
Because it was really, really fun.
It was. We got lots and lots of fabric. Even though we have a house full of fabric, this is not to sell or anything. This is for us. So we're really excited about it. We have two of the best co-pilots.
Yes.
Who just stayed in the car and waited for us from place to place. We found parks that we walked them in between, and spots where we could walk them a little bit.
Yeah.
But, and when they got home, they got ice cream because we have doggy ice cream, and they got a special treat yesterday when we got home because they had been so good.
Oh yeah, I mean they were just really good.
So we thought what we do is talk a little bit about the shop hop and show you some of the things we got.
Yeah.
Because we're so excited to start working with this fabric.
So
you, when we disappear,
if we don't show up for our shows, it's just crazy.
We're gonna have lots of fodder for the podcast. It's all content. It's all
content,
work.
right? It's all good.
It's all good. So one of the things I loved was that each of the quilt shops gave you a pattern. These are Villa Rosa patterns, and what they did was they had their name put on each of the patterns, so that everywhere you went, you got a different pattern to make. They had
the samples hanging on the wall, so you could see. And
Helen actually got the pack to make this. We don't have it because she ran out of it. There were so many people buying it, but so she's gonna cut another one and send it to us.
It's her colorways were.
This was the one in Brielle.
Yeah, and it was just so beachy, and it just
perfect.
It was perfect. So, because I don't know if you can see, but there are dolphins on the blue fabric. So,
it's just so what Villa Rosa Designs does is, if you make a quilt using one of their patterns, they'll let you put your own picture in and put your name on it.
Right.
So, I mean, it has the name of the quilt, which is the inlet, but then you can put the old spool, which is one of the store that this actually was from. And they used her quilt picture to do it.
Right.
So, I mean, it's fantastic.
So that if we wanted to do kits, you do it with our name on it and your particular quilt.
Right.
So, really.
It's
really
it's a
cool.
great way that they work with quilt shops and fabric sellers. So
and they even put the New Jersey Shop Hop on it.
Yeah.
So you know it's a commemorative thing.
So we each got one of the different patterns from each of the 8 stores, which is great because now we have 8 different quilts to make.
Right.
I'm really very excited to get started.
And they're all pretty much fat quarters friendly.
Oops. Sorry about that. The Urban Society gave us cookies too, because they had a sweet treat in theirs. So there's homemade cookies in the spool of thread,
right?
Because shop hop, and that came in a little baggie with their quilt, which is just fantastic. I also love the fact that some of them are easier quilts and some of them are slightly more intricate quilts.
Right.
So it's not all one level, that you have a whole bunch of different ones to play with.
And some look harder than they are. This one, this one looks really intricate, and it's all half square triangles.
And once you get half square triangles down.
Yeah. So it's really a relatively easy technique in just placing them properly. So.
And there's so many different things up on YouTube that will show you how to do. Jenny from Missouri Star Quilting has a way of doing half square triangles that is really a piece of cake.
Yeah.
And you just watch her do it and you're like, I can do that.
Oh yeah.
So it's really nice and easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have a whole bunch of new patterns to try. And believe me, we've got fabric to make these quilts. All right.
It's like Christmas around here.
Do you want to start with what was your favorite store?
That's a hard one.
There were a couple that were really good.
Yeah, I think it's, before yesterday I was going between Pennington and Early Girl.
Right.
So I'll do my favorite stores of the days, because Pennington and Early Girl were my favorite stores on the first day.
Pennington has the greatest layout.
Oh, I mean, it's a huge space.
They have a bed with a quilt and pillows on
Right.
it. They have everywhere they have a quilt hanging or a pillow that they've made or a bag that they've made, they have the kit made up.
Right,
So that all you have to do is you're like, oh my God, I love that. Here you go.
right.
Ready to go.
And
It was
every
fantastic.
inch of wall space
Yes.
is taken with quilts. And
Beautiful
they have
quilts.
beautiful fabrics.
And it
Great
is
fabrics.
light and airy and so,
Yeah.
so pretty.
Yeah.
They have bunting hanging in the window. I mean, it's just so inviting. Really, really inviting. So I loved that
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
I really love that store. I liked Early Girl Quilts very much. It was our first time being in that location in Audubon, because they had moved recently.
And they have done a tremendous job with a small space
Right.
of fitting a lot in, having tons of samples in
Again.
a very small space.
Very light.
Yeah,
You did not feel overly crowded there,
Right.
even though it had a lot of stuff in there. I didn't feel overly crowded except when there were like 6 other shoppers in there.
right.
Then it got a little bit tight because you're like, excuse me, can I get around you, please?
Yeah.
But other than that, I never felt pressed in at all.
No.
Yesterday, Urban Society in Westfield is a fantastic store. They have really interesting fat quarter bundles and quilts and
They're just starting to add yarn because they're starting knitting classes because they started out as classes.
right.
But they've got a new retail space that's just, again, light, airy, and tons of room to move.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
And they had good fabric.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good fabric. The old spool in Brielle wins for the best owner
Yes.
because she was so friendly, so full of life, and she greeted everybody. She chatted with everybody. She had really quirky fabrics, some fun stuff.
Whimsical.
Yeah, but again, she does 5 days after school. She does sewing classes for kids,
Right.
and then she's doing sewing classes for adults too. So she does a lot of classes, and she doesn't have a ton of room to work with.
No, she just recently added retail space too.
Right.
So she hasn't got a ton of space, but she fit a lot in. And
Yeah.
she has really nice fabrics. I really liked her fabrics.
Yeah, I found some of the stores, it looked like their fabrics were fillers. So that it's, I have this center fabric that I'm going to use and now I need fillers to go around it type
Right.
of thing. They didn't have like statement piece fabrics
Right.
as much. And it was more just, here are the yellows, the blues, the greens, that kind of
Right.
thing. But some of them had really, really cool, interesting collections of fabrics.
Yeah.
So that's where I usually go. I kind of go towards the collections.
Yeah, I was since I'm buying with quilts in mind or pillows or something, but I'm buying with using fabrics together.
Right,
It's much easier if I can have a collection.
right.
And I don't have to go, okay, well, the pink from that collection's in the pink selection and that kind of thing, because it's just easier if I can just grab the fat quarter bundle.
Right, which is what we did. You're going to see a lot of fat quarter bundles. All right, so one of the things that I did, Helen, a couple of years ago, we made a Halloween quilt that Helen uses on her bed, and I love it. And I have been wanting to make a Halloween quilt, and it's not like we don't have Halloween fabric. We have tons of Halloween fabric, but I got Halloween fabric to make a quilt. And I got it from a couple of different stores. This is a fat quarter bundle that is tiny treaters, they called it. It has ghosts and little creatures going trick-or-treating.
It's a really cute collection.
It is. It's got different kinds of candy, bats, all sorts of fun things that fit in very well with my whimsical lifestyle. So I got that from one store. A couple of other stores I went with smaller print fabrics because this is going to be, I'm thinking it may be like a rag quilt. So I got some that were by Teresa Kogut.
Love the stars.
Again, it's all going to fit together to make a Halloween quilt. Stay tuned. It may not make it for this Halloween, but it will be a quilt.
That's okay. Mine's on my bed all the time.
I know. It makes makes life so easy.
I started off thinking notions and kits. So one of the first things I got was the Gypsy Quilter wooden seam press, which I've seen a ton of people use, and they say it works sometimes better than an iron, and it works really well in conjunction with the heat of an iron. So pressing open your seams or pressing your seams to the side. It's a heavy piece of wood. So got
Okay.
that was pretty much it.
That's all she got.
That's all I got.
Well, so show some of your fabric, like your 10-inch squares.
So one of the places I was going mainly, as I said, like collections. So one of the stores, I got a couple layer cakes, Riley Blake layer cakes. Oh my God, look at this fabric. And then I got this one, Beneath the Western Sky. You'll notice a theme on my color palette.
I was going to say, you got that because there's a wolf howling at the moon. We all know.
Oh, well, that's what got my attention, and then the color palette got my attention. And then, oh, well, you keep going.
No, go ahead.
Okay. At Urban Society, they had a quilt hanging, and she was telling me that when they hung the quilt a couple weeks ago, she thought to herself, well, that's kind of niche. I hope people like their dogs, and I wonder if we'll sell the kits. And I had asked her if she had the kit, and she said, yes, but I'm going to have to mail you the pattern because I'm out of the pattern, and all I have been doing all weekend long is cutting these kits. And she was telling me that she wasn't sure that people were going to buy the kit because do people like their dogs that much? And I'm like, oh,
We're crazy.
We're crazy.
Trust me, dog people are crazy.
You put a dog on it, and you're pretty much assured of. So it's a Villa Rosa pattern, and she just ran out of the patterns, but it's one of the fabrics. Paw prints. Oof, oof. Dogs. There's this kit, and then the old spool were the only two quilt kits that I got.
I didn't get any quilt kits. I just got fabrics that go really, really well together. So I got, when I was at Early Girl Quilts, I picked out some fat quarters that I thought were going to be pretty together, like that one and that one. That one.
Come a little towards me.
Okay. That one. This one is just cat faces. Very subtle. This one is mushrooms, but I thought the green went really well.
Yeah.
With the whole collection. And then, there are a couple of others. I had to get the one with the frogs, because we are the hollow after all. So, I got I self-picked a bundle that I thought would be very pretty together. So I got that, and then I also got, at a different store, I got these fabrics that I thought went really well together. And you have rabbits.
I was explaining to one of the quilt owners that we go more whimsical if you've got an animal on it.
like
You're
a
off
fox
to a good
holding
start.
a kite, and rabbits riding bicycles in the background.
These birds just kill me.
And then, I mean, there are these ladies that I just find hysterical. And then there's this gentleman, which is what got me started on the whole collection.
Can I see one?
Yeah.
Check the savage.
So, these are the ones that I got, and I figure I got a half yard of these. These are going to go really, really pretty together. I can use something as a filler in between. I was just looking at, we have Anita Dram's The Pond Life.
Oh,
that
okay.
have the checks and things like that would be very
Oh
pretty
yeah, the
with
ginghams
this.
are gonna go well.
You know, the
yeah.
ginghams are going to be pretty, so I just have to match the colors. But so that is going to be something. I'm not sure what. So that was one thing.
He would be very good for English paper.
These I thought would be very good, that you can take the leftovers and cut out things, because the birds too.
So be careful with your leftovers.
Yeah, because I saw a quilt that had a big piece in the middle, like the birds would be perfect for,
okay, yeah.
and then smaller pieces going around the outside.
Okay.
So yeah.
Another kit that I got was from Pennington. I saw this on their website. It's a Halloween tote bag that has a cat that you applique to the front of it. It comes in this, you get the magazine to go with it. October Quilts and More magazine from Better Homes and Garden. So that's the tote bag that I got the kit for. I just think it's fantastic.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Really cool. I got a bag kit too at one of the stores. If you spent a certain amount, you got rewards points, and I got enough to pretty much buy a kit. So I got this to make a bag. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure this candy one is in my fat quarter bundle. But so I may make the bag, or I may use it as part of my Halloween. I don't know.
Yeah.
We shall see. Because we know it goes with the Halloween, because I already have it. But now I have green or orange, a solid orange to go with it. And then I got a couple of patterns, books of patterns. I got this one that is 3-yard quilts. This is a, I think it's a mother-daughter. Maybe not. Are they mother-daughter?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, they put together quilt patterns that you can make.
Fabric Cafe, because they have a YouTube channel and everything too.
Oh, okay. So they put together quilts that you can make from 3 1-yard cuts. And I thought, oh, I'm going to use those with my colors and my fabrics, but I can make all those quilts. So I got that one. And then I also got this one, which is put out by Fat Quarter Society.
Fat Quarter Shop.
Fat Quarter Shop, not Fat Quarter Society. Fat Quarter Shop, it's their printing company, It's So Emma. But this one has all different patterns, but they give you the pattern for a quilt, a pin cushion, and a pillow. So for each pattern, they break it down into the 3 different projects that you can make. So I thought that was really kind of fun, because, I mean, who doesn't need lots and lots of pin cushions all over the place? So I thought this is going to be fun to make with all different things. And it's done by Joanna Figueroa and Carrie Nelson, and they have 2 different color palettes. So you get the quilt in each of their color palettes, so that whereas one goes very vintage looking fabrics, she says that she gets a lot of her color inspiration from children's books from like the 50s. And the other goes a little bit brighter and a little bit more modern. It's really interesting to see the 2 different quilts together. So that's going to be fun to work with.
My pattern that I bought, because I always have to go not simple, do the Sistine Chapel all at once, is this Collage Quilt. Because, it's beautiful. It's an elephant. It's going to be a gorgeous wall hanging. I just have to figure out how to collage quilt.
One of the places had some fabrics that I picked out, and I said, do you have any more of these fabrics in the line? And she said, well, what I do have is the fat quarter bundle. And I'm like, sold. So this is from Rifle Paper. And it's their travel destinations. There's some with stamps. There's some with actual destinations on it. I mean, this is so cool. Look at these. I love this. So this is going to be lots and lots of fun to go through, see the different fabrics, the colors, and then figure out what I'm going to do with it. But it's got great, great colors. I mean, this one, just, and you put it together with this goldy stripe. Look at that. God, love it. So, Rifle Paper.
Fat quarter bundle, what I want. Just, it's all sea creatures and sea life on my colors.
Yes.
Just, yeah. Marybeth went into this shop first. This was the Quilted Nest in Collingswood. Parking was challenging, and we had to park on the street, so we let the guys out while we were both in the shop. So one went in the shop and one stayed with the dogs, kind of thing. And she came out and she's like, if you go into this room in the back and off to the right, there's a fabric line that I think you'll like. And I'm like, yeah. I think she thought I was going to come out with a couple yard cuts of a couple of them. And I'm like, well, they had the fat quarter bundle.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's the best way to do it because
Right.
you get the whole thing. So, I found, this was at the Old Spool. I found this fabric that I absolutely fell in love with because it's all the woodland creatures reading their books. I mean, come on. And then they also had this one, which I just love. There's an octopus on the back. I really love that one. This one, I think, it's Moda. So I may see if I can find more of this line because that one I just really adore that. And then I found this one that I thought was so pretty. It's just really delicate and pretty, and I thought it's going to go very well with the deer Stellas that I found, because I found a couple of deer Stellas that I plan to use. Look at this one, the cats in the garden. Oh my god. And here are the cats in the garden on the darker colors. I mean, look at these. We have a line of fabrics that's a bee. It's grays and golds for the bees. And I think these are just going to go beautifully with that to offset those grays and golds. So I'm planning to use these fabrics with that. And then I also found at one of the shops, this is also very similar to Deer Stella, has a Deer Stella feel. This is Felicity Fabrics, and it's just got neat little smaller print, but garden pretty colors. I mean, can you go wrong with pink and blue stripes?
You can't go wrong with stripes. Period.
No, but these also would fit in with the Deer Stella fabrics if I wanted to use them. See how they fit in beautifully together? So that I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with these yet, but they're gonna all work together.
So yesterday I was all about Ruby Star Society because those were the fabrics I was buying yesterday. And this is their Christmas collection. So I bought the fat quarters for it mainly because of, this was the first one I saw. And he's got Christmas lights. I didn't even realize at first that he was Christmas fabric. I'm just like, ooh, it's a smiling octopus. And I love that. And I'm reading a book about an octopus right now.
So it fits in
So
beautifully.
it fits perfectly. And I'm like, oh, because I'm like, oh, look, it really goes with the snowmen. And they're snow animals.
I was going to say, they're not snowmen, they're snow cats.
You have a snow pig and a snow panda and a dog. I'm like, oh, look, he's got Christmas lights, so it's all part of the Christmas collection. So then I went and picked up a bunch of the fat quarters so that I can make a quilt. And I'm contemplating possibly being an EPP. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Depends on how fast I want it.
Right.
So that's that.
Very cool.
And then at another shop, I found this Ruby Star Society fat quarter bundle. And this is all strawberries. And just great colors. And again, small print, but could do some fun fussy cutting for EPP or whatever.
Right.
So really
Pretty
like that.
colors,
Yeah,
yeah.
They've got great colors. So really becoming a big fan of Ruby Star Society.
Great. All right. This is a Rendale fat quarter bundle from Maywood Studios. You may recognize the Rendale animals. We've had them on some of our Christmas fabrics, and we just love fat robins that have attitude, and they seem to do those a lot. So they're all different colors. They're pinks and whites and yellows and blues and greens. It's just such a pretty collection.
Yeah.
And there's so much fabric here that we can do a lot with this. We can share it. We can share it with my mom if she decides she wants to make something, so that it's something that will work well for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty there. And then I think my last one is this fat quarter collection. And this is by Heather Ross. She's an illustrator. She very often has animals like little mice and things like that. And the little mice are very often going off to dance class or walking with their umbrellas, that kind of thing. And that's the color palette that it is. So it's going to be really, really pretty together. So these, again, smaller prints. I think what I like about this is no matter what type of quilt you choose, it doesn't have to be large blocks to showcase the fabric that you got. Sometimes with the larger prints you need a larger block to show it, because otherwise you cut off half of it. With these, everything will be showing beautifully, even if it's like 4-inch strips or a 5-inch square or whatever. There's enough on the fabric that you'll be able to see everything.
Right.
So I'm kind of excited to do those kind of quilts. And again, the Villa Rosa designs that we have are going to be perfect for that.
Yeah.
All right, what about you? Are you all done?
I'm all done.
Okay, so that is our haul.
So
we had a lovely, lovely 3 days.
Yep.
We're going to have an even better upcoming several months as we get to work our way through some of this fabric. We just have to keep it front and center so we don't lose it and forget about it.
Right.
And actually make time to do this, because now that we've bought it, we got to make stuff with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that just about does it for us today, right?
Yeah,
That's enough.
Yeah.
That is enough. All right, so this coming week, we are picking up a U-Haul trailer. We are packing
a
U-Haul van, right? We're getting a van. We're packing up the van, and we are heading to Greenwich, New York to do the Adirondacks Yarn Festival.
Yes.
We will be there setting up on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday. I don't know what our barn is.
We have no idea. You don't find out until we get there.
Okay, so we will be in one of the barns. I know that.
They are not. They're not one of the ones that sends information ahead of time. Just show up, get your packet. It's their way of ensuring that you check in first, because you have no idea where you're going.
So we will be there. If you're in the area, please come see us, because we're going to have lots of good stuff.
It's going to be a perfect Fiber Festival weekend. I think the high on Saturday is 60 degrees. The low on Friday is 36. So you get to wear your sweaters.
Yeah.
It's going to be beautiful sunny weather. And they have done a lot this year they've added music. They've added a lot more food vendors, they said. So this is one of those up and coming festivals that's just slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. So yeah.
And they have animals, and they have lots of good vendors, and we hope we see you there.
Yes.
So if you're going to be in the area, make sure you stop by. We'll be posting videos to Instagram to show you where we are and show you the booth setup.
Right.
All right. So I think that just about does it. We are off to pack and send out the last of the 500 yarn through the door, and
Right.
then
Start
get everything
everything's ready to go for tomorrow to pack up.
packed to ready to go so that we can load the van.
Yep.
All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Go forth and create.
And we will see you in a few days.
Yeah.
Bye.